Hey, what's up? I figured I should create a quick video on this new quality of life update. So now if you open up the hotkeys menu, you should notice this new default tab. Now originally we only had one area to add and configure hotkeys, but now with profile management, you can create new profiles to better organize your hotkeys. Now I've already created two, such as MS Paint and Notepad, but you can also just click here to create a new profile. Now by default it'll be called profile 1, and then profile 2, profile 3, profile 4, and so on and so forth. Now we're just going to delete profile 4, profile 3, and we're going to delete profile 2, and whoops, I just tried to delete the default profile. Now you cannot delete a default profile because I figured that if you were to delete all the other profiles and then try to delete the default profile, you'll be left with 0 profiles. And that's no good. So now we're just going to delete profile 2, and we're going to go into profile 1. We're going to rename this to test. Now we're going to add a hotkey. Guess I'll call this YouTube. Why not? And of course, we can set an activation key to one of the arrow keys, like up, left, down, right. Maybe you can do 6, 4, 8, maybe like H or like J, or maybe some combination like Control T or Control Y, or maybe Shift U, or maybe Control Shift B, or something crazy like that. Now you can no longer use Control Alt Shift or left click as standalone activation keys, as I figured if you're going to do crazy combinations like this, you shouldn't be allowed to use any of the modifiers as standalone keys. Now you can still do Control left click, but you can't do left click on its own. So now we're just going to close, actually no, we're going to delete this profile first, and then we're going to close out of the hotkeys window. Now you may have noticed that this is all red or crimson like. How about we check out the color configs window? Now of course we have teal, dark, and light, but now we have crimson, purple, and custom. Now this looks ugly, as I've already configured this for the sake of this video. Now by default it'll look like teal, but you can also change the custom colors here. So for example, this window, we can just make it green. You can also just play around with this, change the colors to your liking, create a better theme than any of my default themes. Heading on over to my website, as you can see, it looks a lot less plain, as we have this hexagon animation in the background, and we have this footer where I can display all of my socials. Now of course the name Easy Macro, I think I should change the name of this in the future version, as there's a lot of applications that also share the same name as Easy Macro. Now heading over to downloads page, if we click right here, you can read the patch notes. Now this is the initial release, so of course there's going to be no patch notes here, but if we click on version 1.1, you can read the patch notes that I've already gone over today. I added profile management, I added this rand function, I added the ability to create custom themes, and I fixed the arrow keys not working as activation keys for hotkeys. Now it's still free, but I might reconsider this in the future. Well, that's all from me for today. The next update is going to be major. I'm going to be adding the one feature that everyone wants from a macro. Stay tuned.